Hello and welcome to Strive Defense Dialogue. I'm your host, Brigadier Rakesh Bhatia, and my guest is Major Harsha Kakkar. Sir, good evening and welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Sir, today we will request you to tell us a lot is happening after the Guardian has published a report. Firstly, बड़े बच्चों वाली रिपोर्ट लग रही है सर. Where have they got these inputs? And we also want to clarify our mind. Where have they got these inputs? Or is what written with a particular aim in mind? And who is going to get benefited? Sir, before the benefit of our viewers, I'll quickly run through the contents of this report before I hand over the stage to you, sir. So, this report was published in the Guardian, which claimed that R&AW, that is Research and Analysis Wing, carried out 20 killings of terrorists in Pakistan since 2020. Earlier, Canada and US claimed that India has been involved in assassinations attempts on foreign soils. The analysis of this Guardian report that has been carried out, people are quoting supposedly intelligence officials who have worked with the R&AW that India has taken inspiration from Israel's Mossad and Russia's KGB, who are known to have gone to various countries to carry out assassinations. Then there is also a report that that famous Saudi Arabia journalist who was working for the US, that is Jamal Khashoggi, who was killed in the US, sir, that Saudi
Killed in
Arabia
Turkey. Killed in
sorry,
Turkey.
Turkish, that they had organized this killings. Sir, just about 7 to 8 days prior to this report, there was another report on Guardian which actually spoke about that is India going to be the next China, or is it going to be, or China is going to be the next China? It was a very interesting report where it was all positive about India. And after that, they give this report. Now, my question to you is, sir, have they tried to build up a sort of trust with the Indian public first by giving and praising the way India is going, and thereafter they suddenly come out with this out of the blue some report like this? So these are the killings. These are major people. We are all aware of it, sir. Sir, I will now request you to tell. Yes, one more thing I want to say, sir. After few days, they pick up the statement of the defense minister, and thereafter they tried to say that India has accepted that India has carried out this assassinations. I read your article on this subject. It was a fantastic way of putting it across. I mean, how could a paper like Guardian come down to this standard, sir? Over to you, sir. Please tell us.
See, the Guardian had anonymous sources on both sides. When you have anonymous sources, you can dream of what you want to write.
Correct.
And mention its anonymous sources. And they were sorted out nice and proper, not only by the government counter statement, but also by a large part of the audience. Firstly, such an article talks about level 2, level 3 terrorists in Pakistan. You think the government of India is concerned about level 2 and level 3? And those also who are valueless? In all probability, I mean, after all, if they were of any value, there would have been some sort of protection given to them by the ISI. Today we talk about Hafiz Saeed has possibly been poisoned. That was there for 2-3 days in the gossip on social media. And suddenly he died a natural death. Either nothing happened or nobody knows.
Yes.
We'd be concerned about people like Hafiz Saeed. We're not concerned about clowns who are there at the second and third rate in Pakistan. It makes no sausage of a difference to us.
Correct.
Second, they are defunct. Now, they were till now being paid by the ISI. Does the ISI want to continue paying them? You have to remember that not a single case was solved by Pakistan of all these 18 to 20 that they keep talking about. The only thing that the Punjab IG or police has been mentioning, or anyone from Punjab, from Pakistan mentions, there is a foreign hand behind it.
Yes.
And the only foreign hand they count at is India.
India.
There were also some of these terrorists who were killed in Afghanistan.
Hmm.
Now, where is the Indian foreign hand reach there? Then the story was class. It is a
Yes.
typical B grade Bollywood film, not even a B grade, I'd say C grade Bollywood film. That Indian RAW infiltrated into the ISIK network,
Uh,
and those who said we want to join, they were told you kill this guy, he's a kafir. Now, to kill a Muslim who's a kafir doesn't make sense to me anyway. But they claimed that they exploited these guys to say you kill him, then you're proving that you're fit enough to join ISIK and we'll take you in. And they
yes.
use these guys to do the killing. Now, every time the modus operandi was the same. Two guys on a bike,
Yes.
they shoot him at point blank and they vanish on the bike.
Correct.
How can you get modus operandi being the same if you're hiring new guys every time? I mean, the Guardian has got some sense of imagination. And to try and put that together, any case that you look at, the case has been that these guys have been observed for days, following a fixed routine. Either they're killed taking a morning walk,
Yeah.
or they're killed while coming in or going out of a mosque. And in every case, it's been a motorcycle. They may be different people, but it doesn't mean that that it is the same modus operandi would be involved with anyone that you pick up from anywhere.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
this is nonsense. Now you talk of Nijjar's case, which
Hmm.
is what they try and link it to. The fact, how did Nijjar's case come about? Let's assess that and we'll get the whole story. Justin Trudeau came to India
Hmm.
for the G20 summit,
Correct.
absolutely ignored. He was desperate for a meeting with the PM and he got one in passing. It was nowhere a bilateral as he had wanted. He was ignored. His plane packed up. He had to spend another 24 to 48 hours till the plane got repaired and he could go back. The whole of Canada was jumping because he had come with his son.
Yeah.
He didn't attend the formal banquet. He took his son for a dinner to a Chinese restaurant in Delhi. The Canadian public got after him. What did you do in India when you spent all these days and you spent billions of Canadian
Hmm.
dollars? Now, to suddenly save the backlash, he said India was responsible for the killing of Nijar.
Yeah.
Excellent story to cover up his failures. And everyone forgot Justin Trudeau's visit to India,
Hmm.
the failure complete, not even a meeting with the PM worth its salt. Everyone focused on Nijar. Now, you do not raise the issue unless you have proof. It has been almost a year. Sorry, September was the GSUM,
About
the
seven,
G20.
8 months. Right? Yes.
Until now, there has not been an iota of proof.
Yes.
Right? Then came the story about India interfering in Canadian elections. वो भी खत्म हो गया.
खत्म हो गया सर.
Give another 2 months.
Hmm.
Nijar में भी निकलेगा. There is nothing which has come out.
Hmm.
You've got nothing. All right. Pannoon ka case, US has
They
given
have
it.
named somebody, some Mr. Gupta, who's working, Nikhil.
All right. Now, there is something there. What has happened in Pak? There is nothing.
Hmm.
Now you look at the ISI which killed the reporter in Kenya,
Hmm.
which killed the Baluch activist in Canada, in Toronto. The number of its own people who are vanishing and getting killed every day by the ISI.
Hmm.
All right. Here the Guardian comes out with an imaginary story. Now take the second part. What did Rajnath Singh say? हम
Yeah.
घुस के घर में मारेंगे.
Hmm.
घुस के घर के मारेंगे रॉ का काम नहीं है.
हाँ.
That is the work of the military,
Correct.
of the armed forces. We did that in Myanmar. We did that in Pakistan when we launched after the Uri attack, the cross-border strike, when we hit the terrorist camps.
Correct.
We have done multiple cross-border strikes, most of which are out in public domain. Whenever there's been a border action team of Pakistan attacking our people, we've retaliated.
Correct.
You've done Balakot. So what have you said? You have
You
said
repeat.
that the moment you do something here, we will hit you back hard.
Yes.
Balakot 2019 February, this is 2024. The message is still very clear with them. Right? That is what Rajnath Singh conveyed.
Absolutely.
If Rajnath is going to start looking at tier 2, tier 3 idiots who have no value today, then he's not the defense minister of India. He's not even the raw chief. He's some third level, fourth level, fifth level raw clown who's hanging around.
Absolutely.
That is not his job. Yes, if you ask him about Dawood Ibrahim, if you ask him about Hafiz Savi, yes, they are heads. Not the Latif and that some Panwar, Shanwar and all these clowns who've been killed off.
Correct.
They're nobody. They're
Absolutely.
literally nobody. So all this is just an imagination being created by the Guardian to sort of project that India has been doing this in Pakistan. Now, for Pakistan, you look at the benefit. Till now, they could not investigate a single killing. All they do is every time there is some killing, if there's a lot of pressure, they'll pick up two local thugs who talk ke unko bolenge, admit you've done it, and say, Raw contacted you and this is what you've done. There is not one iota. Make a 300-page dossier, cover it up with millions of dollars of kharcha, and go and gift it to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who will dump it in the dustbin.
Absolutely.
As much as he'll go, and the Pak foreign minister will go to the UN, he'll get a free trip to New York. He'll have a few days of holiday there. He'll meet the UN chief, gift the dossier, and say, I've given the dossier on India's involvement. Like hell, anyone is bothered. India doesn't even respond. We don't believe in giving dossiers.
Absolutely.
When we say that this is there and it is proof, we don't need to go further. It is only Pakistan that believes in this stupid thing which no one listens to.
But sir, even when we are given the dossier and UN has proclaimed them to be a terrorist, announced a bounty on his head, so kya ho gaya? I mean, it has not
He's
made
still
a
free.
difference on grounds. They're still roaming around freely.
So then, if that is the case in a nation, what do you expect in return? So basically, the entire Guardian report had had nothing substantial in it.
Yes.
It was written by somebody possibly based on some sort of inputs which flowed. India could have done this. Now that could have theory has been roaming around with us. We always, in fact, for a long time, I have been saying that we have some known unknowns in Pakistan.
Yes.
Known because they don't like these guys. Unknowns because nobody knows who they are. It could be ISI, it could be anybody. And yes, they're knocking off these guys because these guys are of no utility to India nor to Pakistan. If they're on the ISI payroll, then they're just being paid for no reason. And the ISI is resettling them. Unke liye dukaan khola, unke liye ye kiya, so it's wasting money.
Sir, I'll draw your attention. So sorry for cutting you short. I'll draw your attention to the case of Kulbhushan Kharbanda. Kulbhushan Jadhav, sorry. Kulbhushan Jadhav, sir. Sir, this is not a modus operandi of any intelligence agency that they send a serving officer deep inside the enemy. I mean, nobody does it.
No. He was not serving. He was retired.
No, that's right. But Pakistan claims it that way.
Secondly, he was running a private setup in Chabahar.
Correct.
Now, a pro-Pak Baluch group, which is basically operating the Jaish-e-Adil, which is operating from Pakistan in Iran,
Correct.
kidnapped the guy. If you realize, recently they attacked the Chabahar port.
Yeah.
They have their reach there.
Yes.
Now, anyone who's left and is looking for business outside, you have the Indians who were working in Qatar who got wrongly jailed.
Yes.
Right. So when you are working abroad, there is always a risk of something happening, especially when you're trying to set up your own. Now, Chabahar port was a new opportunity. I know of a guy who's with me in a few groups who, the moment the US entered and took over Afghanistan, he went and opened an Indian restaurant in the green zone.
Yeah, I am aware.
Right. You were there, so you'd
Yeah.
know. And he did a wonderful job. Now he went in on an opportunity that was available. Right. And he exploited the opportunity and he continued exploiting it till as long as he could.
Correct.
And he did do very well in business because it was something which nobody had been able to beat him before that. So he managed to establish himself. So anything something opens up, people look for an opportunity to try and do something. Well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't,
Correct.
so that is how that was Kulbhushan's case.
Yeah.
The fact is, he's been dubbed. Had it been any other country, we could have pulled him out. Here, it is not going to be easy to pull out because they've already taken a decision as to what he is.
Yeah. That's right.
So you're looking for a chance by when you can afford to do that and you're able to pull it through, but that is something that will take time.
No, Pakistan's imagination I'm talking about, sir. You know, they form an opinion and then try and twist the facts and figures to suit their opinion. What suits the domestic audience?
See, they have had no proof of anything as far as India is concerned in Afghanistan.
Correct.
Nor before, nor now. When you said that the Taliban have broken the shackles of slavery, when you say that they will help us gain Kashmir, today you're saying India is funding the TTP through the Taliban. So, I mean, Pakistan's imagination can go wild. Anything that happens in Pakistan, in fact, if just to bring your mind back, when they had floods, Hafiz Saeed said it is India.
India.
Right? For them, anything and everything that happens is India. Now, when the Guardian published this, the Pak Foreign Office jumped and it started asking the world to control India because India is doing this.
Right.
Not a single nation reacted.
Yes.
Neither China, nor even Turkey. Their two allies. Forget about the Middle East. Forget about the rest of the world.
Correct.
Nobody bothered to respond. And the only one who was jumping was the Pak Foreign Office by itself.
Absolutely.
I'm actually waiting for one more to get killed. They will again jump. It is an Indian action no matter what happens to the guy. If by chance Hafiz Saeed is actually been poisoned, they will not announce officially even if he dies because then that will be admitting a defeat. So whatever happens at the end of the day, it is just India.
But sir, Hafiz Saeed,
for them, it is an India phobia.
But Hafiz Saeed के केस में मेरे को थोड़ा सा डाउट लग रहा है सर. Otherwise, somewhere in the social media, some reaction, some action would have.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything has happened. I said tomorrow, if anything happens, it is going to be India.
Yeah.
You see, there is for them anything and everything.
Yeah.
It's just happening from here. And I mean, I think a time is going to come when the parents are going to say, "Bete, raat ko so jao, nahi to raw aa jayega."
Absolutely.
So that Gabbar wali kahani is going to come back. And it is something which actually Pakistan has enhanced the credibility of raw.
Yes.
To levels where it was never supposed to be. But I guess they're doing us a good favor.
Yes. And sir, last time when Pulwama happened, इनकी सर imagination कि ये हालत थी कि they said that BJP government has itself got Pulwama done to win elections.
I told you, there's everything and anything can happen there. For them, in fact, now if you look at, in fact, I was working on another piece for next week, which was the visit of the Pak PM to Saudi Arabia now.
Saudi.
Right. And I was linking up the visit of the Saudi Crown Prince to Pakistan in February 2019.
When Imran Khan
He
drove his
came to
vehicles.
Pakistan. No, he came to Pakistan 5 days after Pulwama.
Correct.
He landed there and then he praised Imran Khan for trying to negotiate peace with India. He had to go back to Riyadh, spend a day in Riyadh, and then fly to India.
Correct.
Because tensions between the two nations were at a peak. Pulwama had just happened. Balakot was yet to happen. Now, when he came here, he officially said that he and PM Modi condoled the deaths in the Pulwama incident.
Absolutely.
And he did the same praise for PM Modi. Right? So, basically, if you look at it, from there till now, this time when Sharif went, it was the Indian perception that it should be bilateral talks. Pakistan media glossed over the entire mention of UNSC resolutions, of the statement of the Saudi Crown Prince and Shehbaz. All they said is he's promised to give 5 billion.
Yeah.
He's promised to invest 5 billion. You see, the perception management in Pak, the fear is if you admit that you've lost your support, they don't want to. That you have
Backlash.
lost the Kashmir cause. Because a major supporter has refused to endorse UNSC resolutions and third-party mediation.
Correct.
So for them, that phobia of India is what is pushing them through.
Sir, now I'll request you to put on your analyst caps and answer few questions that I have for you, sir. Sir, why this report? What do you have to say about the timings of the report and who benefits the most? Sir, is it a conspiracy theory and who's done it, sir?
See, possibly, I mean, if you look at it, the report has only benefited the current ruling party. It has shown Pakistan in poor light, forced them to respond. The US is least concerned. What happens in India and Pakistan is separate. Achha. Next, as far as the ruling party is concerned, it has only added to the statements. We will not let anyone touch Indian soil. We will not let you do anything in India.
Correct.
It is Pakistan which has created an euphoria of raw in their country. Everybody and anybody is now saying raw is responsible for whatever happens. This year, monsoons are going to be heavy. That is what the claim is. And floods are going to come. If they come in Pakistan, Indian raw is behind. Or abhi heat wave is picking up. If it continues, raw is behind. That is the sort of perception that Pakistan has. For them, everything and anything is raw. As far as the opposition is concerned in India, for them, this report, frankly, is a setback because they can't say anything. You see, sort of the BJP perception after the report, if you notice, wherever the PM has spoken, he has mentioned that we will not let anything happen on us. So, if you want to believe, then it is quite possible it is someone who's fed this report from the ruling party. Quite possible. It does make sense because ultimately at the end of the day, they are the only beneficiaries. Globally, nobody is concerned. But again, if you look at it, how many people in India read The Guardian or have read the report? So frankly, within India, it may be about 0.01%, maybe 0.1%, maybe 1%. Does that really make a difference? So in the overall gamut, it is possibly the Guardian trying to grab readership in India by throwing something sensational.
Possible.
Today, if you look at the Newsweek importance after PM Modi's interview, the readership that the Newsweek has got. So for the Guardian to throw something absolutely different is a ballgame. I mean, it is there.
So, why was this report audience, like you have said, could be readership, sir? International relations या international में कुछ फर्क पड़ा सर Guardian report से, or people have laughed at the caliber of the report?
Nothing. I mean, people have ignored it. After all, remember, when such things happen, when Israel has killed the people abroad, now the only time it came out was when that Israeli got caught in Sweden.
Yeah.
The Russian killings in UK, when it's specified down as to who exactly it was. Otherwise, nothing. The recent guy who was killed in a Spanish resort. Which means perception is Russia is involved.
Yes.
After all, he's a Russian. If a Russian is killed, it can't be a Greek involved or it can't be an Indian involved. It has to be a Russian involved because he was anti-Russia. He had flown the helicopter out from Russia and landed in Ukraine. So these sort of things are different. But this Guardian report, and it talks of Pakistan killings. Pakistan में grade 2, grade 3 level terrorists, nobody is concerned. And today, if you notice that there are no camps next to the borders, the fear is there that there will be another cross-border strike.
Yes, possible. Sir, एक और चीज I would like to add to this thing what you have said, that the prestige of R&W has really gone up. Firstly, on the contrary, ISI has not been able to investigate and come out and put a finger on anything that what has happened, because
it has never been able to.
It's never been able to do it, sir. Secondly,
it's only a talk. The only thing good that the ISI has ever done till date is suppress its own politicians.
Yes.
Suppress its own people in Balochistan. And today they proved it by suppressing their own police guys in Bawalpur.
Absolutely.
So the only thing that the Pak Army and the ISI has been able to do is suppress its own. Internationally and to investigate, it is zero.
Sir, surprisingly, then there was a second report which came, on which your article mentions, sir. That was again a botched up report, sir.
No. The second, what happened was, Rajnath made the statement in a News 18 TV discussion.
CNN, yes.
Where he said, कि हम CNN News 18, where he said, हम घुस के मारेंगे. Well, घुस के मारेंगे was actually the cross-border strike, Balakot, and the multiple actions retaliation to BAT.
और वो भी हवा में नहीं थी सर, करके दिखाया था पहले.
That is what it is. He was not talking about the stupid knocking off of grade 2, grade 3 level terrorists who are not even worth their salt. And secondly, if that is going to be the level of the defense minister, it's not worth it. It's not his thinking.
Correct.
As I've said in the beginning, I said the grade 2, grade 3 level terrorist is not even the thinking of the level 1, level 2, level 3 of raw. These are faltu guys. They're only in the list. That's it.
Absolutely.
And there is something which is happening within Pak, which is why they failed to investigate.
That's very important, sir. There is something wrong somewhere in their organization, sir. That it seems that
See,
there is a groupism within
no,
within the
no. It
powers.
is very simple. You are Pakistan's ISI is removing dead wood. That's it.
Absolutely.
These
I think
people
one of
are not, if you look at it, none of them are active. They were recruiters, they were trainers. They are today sidelined. There were one or two who were killed as deep as in Karachi, who were running a bookstore, who was no longer operative. They are now dead wood. They're only sucking onto monthly payments. Why keep them? That is a lot that they're removing. None of the top level has been touched. And
absolutely.
secondly, if you look, there is a lot of pressure on Pak from Saudi, from the UAE. Cut down your terrorist activities against India if you want support. You have to realize these countries don't want a war. You look at the Saudi investments, it is there in the Jamnagar refinery.
Correct.
You look at UAE investments, it's now in Srinagar.
Srinagar.
They've invested heavily in the malls and the office buildings in Srinagar, UAE. It is the MR group of UAE,
Correct.
right? So basically, these guys have been, so they don't want anything happening. And their warning to Pak is, you want funds, you behave. And
Yeah.
if you look at the level of terrorist activities now, they're slowly receding. There are hota hai, but it's far lower than what it used to be. Look at the reports on infiltration attempts. Because the pressure is mounting from these guys.
Absolutely.
And they desperately want them. So there's a lot happening here.
And sir, Middle East also has realized, I think good sense has prevailed, that the oil is one day going to finish. So they have to diversify. And they cannot ignore India, sir.
And if you look, interestingly, 2019, they promised 5 billion to Pakistan and 100 billion here.
Correct, sir.
Today Shehbaz Sharif is going there literally begging them कि भाई अपना 5 billion जो आपने promise किया है invest करने के लिए वो तो करो. India we don't, because they are pumping in. They
Yes.
want to be involved. They want to look at diversification.
But this is a very positive change
This is
from
this is the new India.
because if we
This is the
look
new
back
India.
about 2 decades back, why 2 decades, even a decade back, sir, we were always on the receiving end from Middle East as well as from USA and all. So now it is that okay, but sir, एक चीज और भी है. Now we must accept that while some people will come to our aid in making us the third largest economy, we should also expect that there will be roadblocks from certain quarters.
Will be.
So we
And
have to anticipate that and ensure that we cross them successfully.
exactly.
So I
कोई
mean,
doubt
we
नहीं.
should not feel bad कि China ये कर रहा है या वो कर रहा है. I had said it in my previous episode also कि अगर बिच्छू सामने बैठा है तो डंक मारेगा सर. फितरत है सर उसकी. Sir, I think we have covered, we have a
Yes.
lot of questions, sir. We will take
Uh-huh.
most of the questions we'll be able to take
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
sir, because we're starting early,
Done.
sir. Gaurav had actually said initially only, and he's right, sir. You have also
Yeah.
alluded to it. There is no proof regarding Niger even after about 8 months.
Arey, another 2-3 months they will say India was nowhere involved, or we
That's
don't have any confirmed proof. It was only to cover up Justin Trudeau's botched up visit to G20.
okay. Sir, he seems to be our viewer from Pakistan, sir. Qadiani Azhar Nawab Mirzai Ahmadi. It is obvious that Indian government is involved in these killings, proof or no proof.
See, Pakistan. Everyone from Pakistan has got an India phobia.
Yeah.
You can't help it. I mean, if everything is linked, and the only thing you see is, I think a time will come when Qadiani will be telling his own children, "So jana bache, ro aane wala." hai." So that is a sort of very good for us. Yeah, keep believing. It will do us a lot of good.
Yes.
This is what we want. We want that fear to remain.
Absolutely. I have said it before, will say it now. Pakistan is clearing the old trash to store new
Absolutely.
trash. That's very well put,
There
sir.
is no new trash now. It is
Ah,
just clearing the old trash. It is reducing its levels of people that it has and whom they are paying.
how long before India starts trade with Pakistan? Jack in and
This
out of
depends.
the.
Simple. This depends on Pakistan. They have to restore the high commissioners and they have to ask for restoration of trade. For us, it's nothing. It's chicken feed trade with Pakistan. For them, if they don't get the trade, the question is going to be their costs are going up.
Yeah,
Their economy is suffering, not ours.
absolutely. Shrutik Kothari has asked you a question, sir. Given that we are routinely portrayed as rogue state alongside fellows like China and Iran and are blamed for interference in elections, why don't we actually start doing this shady stuff? Might as well.
See, the first part is who portrays us as a rogue state.
No, nobody.
Canada initially said we were involved in interference in elections 2 days after the statement. The Canadian government has backtracked and said India was not involved. Only Canada and the US have said that we've been involved in some incidents, whether it is Niger or whether it is Panun. For Pakistan, this story of the Guardian is crap. But if we have to start interfering in elections, even if we do it, nobody ever announces it,
Absolutely.
nobody ever proves it, nobody ever says what it funds. All these things are quiet. It's only the country, if it wants to investigate where it is happening, it does so. Otherwise, all this stays quiet. Now, as far as the Indian elections are concerned, there would definitely be certain amount of funding to some political parties for some interest by some global organizations or nations.
Absolutely.
We don't know. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't want to get into the political debate.
Absolutely.
But definitely there would be certain interest. That is how things happen.
Sir, earlier there was a question by Jack in and out of the box regarding trade. So there is a follow up comment by Gaurang. Says the not
No,
happening, we have been nothing to
it
gain,
will
and
not be,
politically it will be suicide for ruling party.
no, it will not be suicidal provided Pakistan initiates, and they have to initiate. We are not the ones
Correct.
to initiate. We have no intent of initiating. Actually, we've outgrown Pakistan. We don't even discuss them anywhere. We don't raise. It is only Shehbaz or any Pakistan PM, any visitor who comes to Pakistan, he will have Kashmir mentioned. Because one visitor comes to Pakistan in 6 months. The Pak
Absolutely.
PM goes out once in 4 months with a begging bowl, 3 to 4 months. India, every week there is a visitor. We don't even talk of Kashmir. We don't even talk of Pakistan. We look at international matters. There is nothing which can be done in the world without Indian involvement. So we look at those things. We don't look at the tiddly middly matters.
Kal, Siddharth Seth has a
I
very
agree.
interesting take, sir. I
Said,
think he's right, sir.
sir, I agree with you, but the fact is that there are times when we need to clarify because if you see on Twitter the amount of uh, the amount of discussion that the Guardian took off on, so it's time that we needed to just put this aside and we are actually clarifying the issue. It's nothing that we're trying to give a hype to the Guardian.
Ask, sir. Recently, there were reports that internal panel had found some rogue agents responsible for Pannu plot. Will government of India really make someone a scapegoat to pacify US due to its
I don't
insistence?
think I don't think anything is going to happen. These are issues. The only thing you're going to put in case there has been someone who's actually involved, you're going to put in checks and balances. That's it.
Absolutely.
And beyond that, nothing. I mean, there is never something which, I mean, if someone has taken it, it's stupidity of an individual. Because even if you were to take it, you don't follow open channels, you don't follow WhatsApp, you don't follow nonsense like that. So I think it is stupidity.
Sir, I don't know. I would like to add here, sir.
Uh,
Why do we see intelligence job as a dirty work, sir? As long as you're doing for the national cause,
no, no,
I think
no,
it's
no.
fair enough, sir.
No, no, no. It is never dirty work. It is an excellent work. Except there are people who try and, I mean, once you get into intelligence, you feel that you can take things wherever you want, you know, without realizing the larger ramifications. What I always say is when you take a tactical decision without its assessment at the strategic level, you can cause blunders.
Yeah.
It doesn't involve intelligence alone. I mean, take a simple example of a guy opening fire on a group of protesters.
Yeah.
It's a tactical decision.
It has,
But
yes.
look at the impact of at the strategic level. Take the one case of the guy being tied on the jeep.
Yeah.
Look at the strategic level, the quantum of debate that took place on it. So you see, when you are acting tactically, especially in intelligence, when you're dealing with international matters, a wrong tactical decision can have major strategic impact. So when a person is acting, he needs to look way beyond what he's looking at.
So, sir, that means for intelligence purposes, there is a requirement of a
Checks and balances. You see, there
checks and
has to
balance
be
and a oversight.
a major thing is that before you are going to take a decision at for an action at an international level, the permission for that decision has to be at a very high level
Yes.
of a person who will think strategically.
So that is why R&AW works under the PMO Cabinet Secretariat.
Correct. So
It's the highest
anyone
level.
now, see, the point is, if there's a guy who feels, I can do something different and gain a name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see, you have that sort of a thing should not happen.
But otherwise, sir,
Yeah, yeah.
in UK, I saw a very interesting arrangement they have, sir. It's always the leader of the opposition who heads the oversight committees
Okay.
for intelligence.
Oh, good.
And they are so honest towards their nation that they
Ah,
actually carry out a detailed criticism of the intelligence agencies working. And
but you see, most of it is kept within wraps,
yeah,
and very limited comes out in public domain.
agrees. That's correct.
And,
That's correct.
and if there is someone who decides to take individual action, that is where the problem starts.
I agree with you, sir. That's where the problem comes up, sir. Sir, kal Akhlender Kumar Singh, Guardian versus Newsweek, was the former trying to clip Modi's wing close to the election, while the latter helped Modi to grow new wings.
I don't think the Guardian managed to clip. If the Guardian was attempting to clip, it failed. Because after that, if you suddenly realize whether it is Amit Shah, whether it is Rajnath, whether it is PM Modi, they've all been singing the fact that we will get after any terrorist or any incident in India. And they're saying nobody else did it, we are the only ones doing it. So, frankly, it did attempt to project India in poor light, but it backfired. And the ruling party got a boost.
Absolutely. Sir, we will take this question also quickly, sir. If Pakistan expresses what they want to start trade, should we do it, sir?
I think logical is that we do it because it benefits both sides. It benefits a lot of our people who live and work around the Atari border. For them, there's a lot of opportunity for jobs. So I think it should. And it may also benefit because our trade to Afghanistan would then start going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Major General Sudhakar ji, sir, do you believe in some tacit indication by the FATF to address the terrorists residing on the soil of Pakistan to avoid grey stroke blacklistings?
Quite possible that they're trying to send a message to FATF that they're clearing off grade 2, grade 3. But I don't think the FATF is concerned about the grade 2, grade 3. The FATF is more concerned about the senior lot, which is the one which we are listing out to the FATF.
Correct.
These guys are possibly just suckers, blood suckers on the ISIS funds, and that's the reason they were taken off. Because none of them really figured in a major list which India has been sending.
I think there are about 7 to 10 of them, sir, which are those major ones. And Pakistan will make sure that they provide maximum.
Imagine the time who was that terrorist whom Pakistan said we can't locate him to the FATF. He's not there. And
Correct.
India said, yeah, we'll give you his address here. We know
Absolutely.
exactly where he is today.
Absolutely, sir. Colonel R.P. Singh,
Absolutely
sir,
true.
when
Nahi,
media
this
has
is
masala, it is on sale. Like dog bites man is no news, but man bites a dog is news. Widely circulated money making is guardians trying to put India in news for good circulations.
Guardian invariably comes out with some nonsense, and there is a lot of emphasis of India in the Guardian because they have a major office set up in Delhi, and they're looking to break into the Indian market. I think there was a time when one of the news channels was looking for a tie-up with the Guardian for the Sunday Guardian. I think it was
Sunday
Times
Guard.
Now, one of these.
Correct.
So there is an interest for it to make a base in India.
But sir, I follow Guardian report just for interest sake. Like I said it in the introduction, sir. Sir, 10 days prior to this report, there was a fantastic report on India and China's this thing. Probably I liked it because it concluded that India is going to beat China in short time, sir. So he's gained this thing, some sort of appreciation from the readers, and then he puts in
Dushant,
this report.
Dushant has
But
clarified it. It,
he's
it was
clarified. That's
X News. Yeah,
excellent.
because I remember, I mean, I was contacted that can you look at, writing for them or some crap. मुझे तब का याद है.
Sir, I think we have finished with almost all questions today we have addressed, sir. It was our endeavor on what you had directed me that we must take all questions, sir. So we have done that, sir. And the discussion has
Sure.
also been good standard discussion we've had, sir. Sir, your last word and before we close, sir.
See, I mean, we have to be very careful as to what is going to flow during these days, especially when the elections are around the bend. You would find a lot of news floating in, either aiming to discredit or aiming to credit. Now, that depends on which side is pushing it. So, we need to be careful as to what is coming in. We need to take a lot with a pinch of salt. There are intentions of influencing elections. There is no doubt that the world is working to influence elections, depending on what individual nations' perceptions are. And one way of influencing elections is via social media, and one way is via the press. So there is a desire that anything small that happens starts getting global comments. And if you look at it, say for example, the recent arrest of Kejriwal, that itself will give you an idea as to sort of global impact that anything that happens in India in election time will have. And we need to realize that the world is now looking at us. We claim ourselves to be the world's largest democracy. And there is a lot of interest to observe or to interfere in the largest democracy because some want a change, some want a continuation. I'm not going to look at which and what. But these are things that are happening, and you will find a lot of inputs coming in. We who are the educated lot need to be careful that we don't get carried away. And we need to
Absolutely.
assess carefully.
Because not only that, sir, we most of us are in the position of opinion making, sir, and
Correct.
influencing maybe others. So we should be
Correct.
very careful. At the cost of repeating, I will say that we are on an upward trajectory. So there will be roadblocks, and we should be very, very careful of these roadblocks, identifying them, either avoiding them or finding out ways or means of destroying these roadblocks so that we
Absolutely.
continue upward trajectories. Before
Absolutely.
we close, I will request all our audience who are watching to quickly press the like button and also subscribe. Those who have not subscribed and press the bell icon. Also share this channel with your friends. Thank you very much, sir. With this, sir, General Harsha Kakkar, sir, thank you very much, sir.
Thank
And
you.
very
Pleasure
soon
being here.
we will invite you again on this channel, sir. Thank you, sir.
Definitely.
And Jai Hind, sir.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.